What's up guys, it's Rogue here and welcome back to yet another amazing video on the channel. For today I got an updated going second Shaddoll deck. It is also including the new Dogmaticas. If you haven't seen the most recent ban list, they got support, well, it's not support, they got cards released off the list, and that is what we are going to be highlighting today. So make sure if you do enjoy this type of content, you do leave a like and subscribe down below. I promise you it is free. And without any further ado, let's get straight into this deck profile. So starting right off of the main deck here, we have double of the Shaddoll Schemata. This is essentially your Foolish Burial. We only need to play 2 because the Shaddoll lineup is relatively low, but the Schemata gives you access to any other Shaddoll, which is nice. And if it is flipped, it targets a monster on the field and does destroy it. So we're playing the 2 Schemata along with the side, the 2 of the Shaddoll Wendy. Wendy basically just special summons you a Shaddoll from the deck. If it is flipped, you can do it in face up or face down. If it is sent, you are locked to only summoning it in face down. But it doesn't really matter because most of the time you'll be using them as fusion materials anyway. And now we're just going to move on to the 1 of Shadolls. We've got the 1 Beast because it's your draw power. We've got the 1 Aerial because it's really good as it's basically a DD Crow for 3, which is amazing in a format like this. We've got the 1 Shaddoll Hedgehog, which is your Shaddoll Search, and if it's flipped you can search your spell or trap. We've got the Falco, just to sort of keep some board presence to keep recurring Shadolls. And we have the 1 Shaddoll Dragon, which is your MST, and if it is flipped up, it can return a monster or card your opponent controls to the hand. Now, moving away from the Shadolls, we actually have a really cool normal summon. We have double of the Fairy Tale Luna. If you guys don't know what it does, on normal it will get you the other Fairy Tale Luna, so that's like a light for Shaddoll Fusion. And also it has a basically compulsory evacuation effect where you can target a monster your opponent controls, and if they don't have another copy to send from the deck or extra deck, it basically bounces it and Luna back to the hand. So that's sort of really cool interaction, and the deck doesn't really have a true normal summon, so the Fairy Tale engine sort of goes really well in that. Moving on, we are playing a DPE package. We're playing, of course, the 2 bricks, and we're only actually playing 2 Fusion Destiny. We're only playing 2 because it is searchable off our Rafflesia, which is in the extra deck, so I think 2 is fine. If you do open the bricks, we do play a card as well, which is the Tri-Brigade card, which allows you to draw a card and put 1 back. So we do have a way of putting the bricks back as well. And I feel like 2 Fusion Destiny has just been perfectly fine. You can, of course, bump it to 3 if you feel like it, but 2's been working perfectly fine. We also have a Dogmatica engine. We have the 2 Ecclesia, pardon me. And we have the 1 Maximus, the 1 Fleur, and of course, the triple of the Nadir's Servant. Nadir's Servant is an absolutely insane card in a deck like this, as you can imagine. Allows you to send any of your Shaddoll monsters, you gain their effects, you can search a Dogmatica and just keep extending. Maximus is amazing in this deck, lets you go +2 quite easily because you'll send a Shaddoll, grab something, send App Clone, grab something from the deck as well, pitch something else, absolutely insane. And of course the third delay is a nice negate as well that you can search. Moving on to the hand traps, since this is a going second Shaddoll build, we are playing quite a few. Playing arguably the second best hand trap of the format behind D-Shifter, we have triple of the Cypher and Gear Gamma, and of course the Brick Driver. The fact that it negates and destroys is actually really relevant against Sprite because it negates the level 2 and removes it off the board, meaning they have to have basically 2 extenders in order to get into their normal plays. And I feel Gamma is just very versatile. If they try and Ash your Shaddoll Fusion, for example, you can Gamma it. If they try and Ash your Fusion Destiny, you can Gamma it. Really, really cool card, and synergizes quite well with the deck, and it is also a light, of course. We, of course, are also playing triple of the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, triple Ghost Spell and Haunted Mansion, and double Effect Villa. These hand traps, they may seem like a lot, but in a going second deck, you need to open at least 2 hand traps in order to stop your opponent effectively. Ash is just the most generic one, and you can always hit something with it. Bell, I think, is really good in terms of you can hit other Dogmatica builds, you can hit stuff like the Totally Awesomes, you can hit the Sprite Smashers, things like that. It's really useful. And Vela is just generic effect negation, which is also comes in handy, and it's a light as well. Moving on to the spells, we have only double of the Shaddoll Fusion and the 1 El Shaddoll Fusion. I didn't want to be playing 3 Shaddoll Fusion because it is a hard once per turn. Yes, the card is insane, but once you see access to 1, you can constantly just recycle it back to your hand of the Shadolls. And the El Shaddoll Fusion is just a way to sort of fusion during your opponent's turn if you don't have access to Schism, and or go for, extra damage during the battle phase and potential OTKs. So I feel like this ratio is pretty perfect, to be honest with you. We're playing the 1 Foolish. This triggers any Shaddoll, so it's basically just like trigger any Shaddoll you want. So it's a really nice card. It was the 41st card. And we have 2 Schisms and the 1 Rare Shaddoll Incarnation. Schisms are absolutely insane. You see loads of decks splashing in Schism just because Winder, but this deck can actually, utilize it for its full potential as it is a Shaddoll deck. You can make whatever you want, pretty much every single turn, which is ridiculous. And of course we have the Shaddoll Incarnation, which I just feel is really good in the grind game. And the fact that you can banish it and flip something up the turn that it was set was absolutely amazing as well. So that's it for the main deck, that's 41 cards. Let's move on to the extra deck. So now moving on to the extra deck, let's get quickly to the Link 2s. We're playing the one Tri-Brigade and the one Gravity Controller. The Tri-Brigade is simply just to draw a card and put a brick back in the deck. You can send this off the Nadir's Servant, which I think is kind of nice. And the Gravity Controller means that if you special summon any of the Shaddoll fusion monsters in the extra monster zone, you can immediately link it off into a Gravity Controller and you can trigger their second effects as well, which I feel is too good to not play. That's why we're playing them. Going on to the Shaddoll fusions, we of course have the best one, which is triple El Shaddoll Construct. The fact that it's a Foolish Burial for any card, not once per turn on either of its effects, destroys monsters as soon as it battles with them as well. It's just an absolutely amazing card. And yeah, I can't rate her highly enough in a Shaddoll deck. You guys just have to play the deck and see why she's so good. We have double of the Apolone. Apolone is actually extremely useful as well. Not only does it get you the Schism access, which is what generically it's known for. If you do summon it, it's also actually a negation as well. You can negate something forever, I think is also kind of nice as well. And not a lot of people don't know that. And then of course, if it does go to the grave the next turn, you can get the Shaddoll Surge. You can pick stuff up from the graveyard as well. So if you have an Aerial deck, for example, you can pick up Aerial, discard Aerial, and that will trigger the Aerial again. So really, really cool, versatile plays you can do with the Apolone. And of course, the win button, the two win, the fact that it just locks your opponent out, and you I guess as well, but it's not that important for you. It locks only one special summon per turn against most meta decks. That is absolutely just game over, and it can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects as well. So it's kind of difficult to out, and has a floodgate, and that wins you a lot of games. And for the last El Shaddoll, we are playing Shekinaga. The reason we're playing the Earth one is because in the side deck we are playing Token Collector. So if we do go against a Sword Soul or Adventure lineup, if we Shaddoll Fusion, we can send Token Collector, which is an Earth, send it to the grave, summon this, and then whenever they summon a Token Collector will come from the graveyard back to the field. So it's really cool versatility, and it's also very big as well. It's 3k defense, which a lot of decks can't really get over. Moving on to the non-Shaddolls here, we have double Entis, just 2 pops is really nice. That's all I can really say about it. You play it for the pops and just sort of forces disruption out of your opponent. We have the 1 DPE, really good this format in my opinion still. Not that good in the tier limit matchup, but really good against everything else in my opinion. Against the sprites, makes them so that they have to have an extra extender because you can remove a level 2 off the board pretty much whenever you want. And the fact that it comes back and the materials give you a draw 2 is really nice still. We have the 1 Predaplant Chimera Ephesia. This is the one I was talking about before. Can search you Super Poly, which is in the side deck of course. Can also search you Fusion Destiny. You basically send it, and then during the standby phase you'll get your Fusion Destiny back to your hand. So really nice. And for the last card we have the Ash Dragon. Send this, end phase gives you access to your Dogmatica engine. And I don't feel there's much to be said there. So that is the end of the deck profile, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy the Shaddoll Dogmatica build that I did feature on the channel. If you guys have different Shaddoll variants or a different build, please do leave it down in the comments down below. I love responding to every single one of you guys, and I like seeing your unique builds and takes on decks. It gives me more insight for my next deck profile. So thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.
It's time! Let's go!